holiday to you and yours. Welcome to another date on Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones. It's day number 39 into the Lenten season, so everything rounds off tomorrow. Okay then, this evening I'm spending the holiday with Babajide Otitojo. I greet you, Jide. Welcome.
Great to
happy holiday.
Oh, happy holiday, Citizen.
Yeah. Godwin Asukwo is also here. Godwin, welcome.
Asukwo James.
Asukwo James, here we go again. All right, please ignore me. Now, today on the program, more than 30 people buried in Zamfara state after cattle rustlers attacks. Dino Melaye threatens to sue IG over disappearance of suspects, and later on, Taraba State Chapter CAN, denies its late chairman predicted Buhari's death. Okay then, we are ready for you. I hope you are too. All right then, cattle rustling is as old as cattle herding itself and has become a critical challenge for our country as a whole. Cattle thieves are as bold, if not twice as deadly as armed robbers. The stolen cows, we are told, are mostly used for breeding. Zamfara state appears to be the epicenter as it continues to bury the dead, and needlessly too. Jide, I'm worried. How dangerous is the Yola, what's the road now?
The one in Borno State?
Yeah, no, where the guy got killed. Oh, okay, I'm mixing.
In Zamfara.
Zamfara State, yeah, yeah. So, cattle rustling is as old as I said, the cattle herding itself. So yes. It's a fad, just like armed robbery.
Yes.
So it's a big problem here.
It's a big problem, and Zamfara State is the headquarters of cattle rustling in Nigeria.
Really?
Yes, Katsina used to have that problem. Even Kano had that problem, and when they steal cattle, they will go and hide it in the Falgore forest on the way to Plateau State, Jos, in Tudunwada local government of Kano. Very vast forest.
Yeah, okay.
So, but the Kano state government came up with the idea of an amnesty, and
for rustlers.
For rustlers, and a lot of them came out, gave up their weapons, and the governor made them happy, in inverted commas, okay. and the idea of cattle rustling was no longer fashionable to them.
Yeah.
In Katsina State, where at least 8 to 9 local governments didn't really have peace over cattle rustling, places like Faskari, Rimi local government, they were always harassing people, stealing people's cattle. But when the administration of Aminu Bello Masari came to power, he decided to also organize a kind of amnesty program, which the secretary to the government of the state, Mustafa Enowa, led. That way, they also found a way to solve the problem. But today in Zamfara, cattle rustling and banditry generally is a big business. And there are gangs, different gangs of cattle rustlers.
You are wondering if these gangsters are Nigerians?
They are Nigerians. Some of them are non-Nigerians. Some of them are non-Nigerians. Some of them are Fulani from neighboring countries. The president said it when he went to Taraba, that there are Fulanis from other countries coming to kill people in Nigeria. So I am actually repeating what the president said because I know it's the truth. It's not a case of, he doesn't like Fulanis. No.
Yeah.
So now, because the people killing people in Zamfara, they are Fulanis, and the victims are Fulanis. So this is just the truth.
Okay.
So now...
A dog situation.
Yes. Recently, in the first week of March, the most notorious cattle rustler, because people know them, sometimes they will even go to a community and ask for money. or they come and kill people, steal cattle. So now these guys had become so, lawless. You can't handle them. The military has not been able to put them in check. Despite the fact the federal government said it was going to set up a base in that state. It's still a problem. They kill people. Cattle rustlers kill people with the kind of wickedness that even Boko Haram does not show. So now the story that I'm trying to tell is that in the first week of March, the most notorious cattle rustler in Zamfara, Buhari Ndaji, his real name is Buhari Soho. Buhari Ndaji was killed. Initially, we thought it was the military operation that led to, the governor of Zamfara, was very angry and was accusing the security agencies of not doing their work, of being told that, look, these people are coming to kill, of refusing to do their work. Much similar to what that general said the other day. Now, Buhari Ndaji was killed and people heaved a sigh of relief. But it was actually a rival gang.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was actually a rival gang led by Dogo Gire that killed Buhari Ndaji. So, and that guy is said to be even more dangerous. This is his picture that you are seeing on the screen. Young man, handsome man.
The guy who was killed.
The Dogo Gire.
Okay, Dogo Gire.
I remember he claimed to have killed people. I remember that we showed a footage of this guy.
So he's the one who, because Buhari Ndaji went to rustle the cattle of his in-laws. Buhari Ndaji is particularly notorious. Even his own acquaintances, people close to him, he will go and rustle their cattle. So because he was misbehaving, they sent, after robbing the in-laws of Dogo Gide, they now called for a meeting. And it was when they came for that meeting that they killed him. His corpse had decomposed, but the soldiers went there, retrieved the corpse, brought him to the center of town, for people to see and be happy. But you can see now that it has not stopped the killings, because this week they already killed 32 people.
I hear the figure is rising.
It's rising. Usually those who get injured because of our poor health services, those who get injured eventually die from their injuries. So this is the situation.
James, the curious angle to all of this is it came at the start of the farming season, and this group had sent a warning. If you don't do this, you won't farm this year. And so it looks like it's a seasonal thing.
Because if you look at this particular incident that happened, there was a warning to the village,
Bawandaji,
village, that they must not farm. And this is another gang led by Gajiri, another gang entirely outside the Buhari, Ndaji, and the Dogo. This is another gang trying to force themselves, from what I gathered, they try to force themselves on the village and telling them that they must not farm. Now, this, from what I gathered, they were part and parcel of that community until they left the community for many years. So they are trying to return to the community, but the people in the community are saying you can't come in because you are now farmers.
Enough is already too much.
You are peaceful, and we don't want any problem. So I think there was a kind of a tussle between the two, the community as well as this gang. So that reprisal attacks is what we are seeing today.
Wow.
30 dead, more still, because they said so many other bodies are still in the bush.
And to have attacked a funeral procession it tells the extent of mindlessness.
So it means Zamfara as a whole is, in fact, they say even in Zamfara, some places, some communities in Zamfara, they brandish weapons. Openly. So it means the places that might be safe will be like the state capital, which is Gusau.
Wow.
So
relatively.
it means we are having another Boko Haram in disguise.
It's a reign of
in that area.
Or gang wars is booting. And when it blossoms...
The gang wars are not common.
Exactly.
Gang wars are not common. They share a heritage of going to loot people's cattle.
Okay.
But the gang wars will happen when you now attack someone close to
You cross your
yes,
the
which
lines.
is their anger with
Buhari
Daji. You know, Buhari Daji is the nickname. Daji means forest.
Okay.
You know, which is a way of saying this is the Buhari of forest. So that is the source of their anger with him. But they routinely attack innocent people, especially in the Dansadao area. Dansadao, those forests in those areas, and those forests stretch
for acres.
Hundreds of kilometers.
Yeah.
Look, we are talking about Brenigwari where they killed 11 soldiers the other day. Do you know that forest stretches from that place to Katsina to Zamfara? It goes on like that.
Wow.
So we are talking about hundreds of kilometers now. Hundreds. So how do you locate these bandits where they are? How do you determine exactly where they are? And they are very well armed. You know how they attack communities? They ride bicycles, because a lot of these communities that we are talking about are not even accessible.
Exactly.
So they ride bicycles, motorcycles, put themselves in 2s and 3s on motorcycles, arm themselves with their AK-47. I've sent pictures. You see those pictures, people will be terrified. Arm themselves and then go into communities. Sometimes on market day, they come to rustle cattle. And they will force you.
Brazenly.
Yes. And they will force you to load the cattle that they are stealing from you into their trucks. They just come waste people. The soldiers that they killed were soldiers, they were actually sleeping when these guys came. Because Brenigwari too, for a long time, was like headquarters of cattle rustling. They didn't allow police station to even operate in Brenigwari, and this is a big town. But it was seen as the headquarters of these guys. So what they first do is to first set ablaze the police station, loot their weapons, then they will have a field day.
And so send terror
Yes,
signals.
send
And everybody's cramped. Asoko, aren't you surprised, if not amazed, that in all of this, security is near absent?
It will be very difficult
because
it will be a bit difficult to secure those areas for now, because the Nigerian police as well as the Nigerian army, I think they are overstretched. This war.
So during election, do you go there to seek for votes?
During election, they will always find a way. There will always be a way for it. But right now, as we speak, I'm not sure we have up to 500,000 soldiers.
No.
I'm not sure.
We don't even
In the country as a whole.
You know,
we don't even want
that's to tell you the extent, because if not, there's nothing stopping the presidency to launch another operation, whatever, in that particular region.
Establish a military presence.
There, and make sure that they nip that crisis in the bud. Right now, it's seriously insecure.
Which is a sad commentary, because the police is charged primarily
with securing the internal security.
Now you are deploying, deploying troops.
Yes, because we don't have enough police men to do the job.
So,
we said it repeatedly that for 4 years, we didn't recruit into the police. And every year, people will retire. Every year, policemen will die. If we know...
Or get killed.
Yes, or get killed. If we know how many policemen get killed in Nigeria in a month, honestly, you'll be alarmed. Because I did a survey. I did a survey just flipping through newspapers over a period of 1 month. And I saw the number of policemen killed. Some of them just killed for no reason. You are on your way to steal, you think the policeman constitutes a threat, you just waste him. So, and for 4 years, we are not replacing these people. People retire. I just get appointed. His mates, his seniors get compulsorily retired, and we did not replace people for 4 years. So how can we have enough policemen to police our country? And don't forget, as I said, these places are difficult to access.
Exactly.
They are villages, they target villages. they target villages. Apart from Wari, where you can say, okay, this is a big town. In most of those villages, you do not even have police presence at all. No police station, no army base, So how can the people defend themselves? This is the situation.
So what are we saying? What are we saying?
Even
in the common man's language, what are we talking about
because
here?
it means we are not secured. Because even in some states, there are some places around that are not that is not secure. There is no police presence at all. It is only when there's an incident that you now see the police from another being moved to that area, and then they will start saying they want to build a division or something. Right now, Nigerians are under-policed, and I don't want to go into the self-defense tactics or idea, but the thing is, the federal government needs to employ more people.
Self-defense is innate.
That one, even if it's in the constitution, even if it's in the constitution, and first law of nature. But the thing is, as it stands now, we need more people to be recruited into the police force. We need more people to be recruited into the army, so that
more police formations too.
Exactly. Whether we are going to, because down the state, from what I'm seeing, the state government are trying to, come up with their neighborhood watch and all that.
Yeah.
Whether from there the police can go there, pick, that is the one that is authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
Pick from there and train them, then move them into the police force.
Are we saying that cattle rustling has come to stay, or it
has always been there?
No, but come on.
It has always been.
Nothing can be done about it.
No, that's not. You see, criminals would stay in areas where they know it's difficult to track them down. Now, if you look at even Boko Haram is occupying Nigerian communities that they know are difficult for the armed forces to access.
And that's soft targets.
Difficult to access. That's what I mean. They really don't want to go to those places. For example, in the Lake Chad area now, there are some islands in the Lake Chad area that the Mama Noor faction, otherwise known as Albanawi faction, occupies. You will pass through. You will use canoes.
Just say the topography.
And you are not familiar with it. I saw corpses of Nigerian soldiers being brought through a boat. All of them in their uniform, slaughtered by Boko Haram. So they are familiar with the area. You are not familiar. These are islands that you are not used to. You can't roll tanks because you can only access those places by boat. You understand? So those areas, they are very comfortable in those areas, and to exterminate them from those areas has been extremely difficult. It's not as if we don't know. When I talk about 3 local governments in Borno where Boko Haram has been active up to today, it is the difficulty in accessing those local governments and the proximity of those local governments to Niger Republic, where they can bring in fighters and all that, that ensures that it is difficult for our soldiers to wipe them out in those areas. So by the same token, when you look at Zamfara State, those forests, because I don't know what art by which you can wipe out an extensive forest.
Are they really forests or open grasslands, savanna?
No.
That's forest as compared to the ones we have down south?
They may not be as thick as the ones that you have, but there are indeed forests in the north, especially the northwest. Because you enjoy a good rainfall in Kaduna, for example. Good rainfall, almost as much rainfall as you get in Ilorin. But I've lived in both towns. So good rainfall in Kaduna for months. So you have forests in those areas, and they can hide in those forests. You may not be able to, you get some of the most sophisticated surveillance aircraft. You may not be able to track them. As one of those Dapchi girls said, he said, in the tent where they were kept, there was something that was used to cover the top of the tent, so that an aircraft, imagine a little girl analyzing that, so that the aircraft will not be able to spot those inside that tent. So this is the thing.
So
Those guys are entrenched.
You're dealing with smart criminals.
They are smart and they are rich.
Smart. They are rich.
They are rich. Why you rustle cattle, 3 trailer loads of cattle? You rustle 3 trailer loads of cattle in one day?
But it beats the imagination to contend here and now that cattle rustling cannot be tamed. I'm not saying stamped out.
Nobody's not saying tamed. Nobody's saying it can't be tamed. I've talked about states that have done well. Like
away from amnesty for rustlers. Away from that. There must be a way.
They'll just crush them?
It will be
No.
difficult.
Lure them away from rustling. It's get them engaged. It's about money.
That's what Katsina State has done. I think that it has reached a point now that Zamfara has to do something similar. Exactly. If it doesn't work, then we can advise them to look for that means. Because in Katsina, it is the rustlers who have repented that are even helping them to catch the real cattle rustlers.
Exactly.
They know them. They know their roots. So they, instead of the governor of Zamfara and the senator from the area that is hard hit, Senator Kabiru Marafa, to be lamenting on the pages of newspapers, they have to come up with the right strategy. If amnesty, they can try out amnesty. Let's see if amnesty will work, because the rate at which they are killing people in Zamfara, one day Abdulaziz Jari will look back, he won't find anybody again.
Asoko, and I don't consider it too tired, the logic about ranching. Isn't it a way of, the cows are at a particular ranch. How would rustlers get in there? You know, if you see what I mean.
Kill the sentries.
They kill the sentries.
Yes, exactly.
And take over.
Because it's going to be very difficult.
This is not a catch-24.
Even ranching, it will just be like a waste. Because look at this. These are farmers. They want to farm. And some people are coming to kill them and saying you must not farm. And you want to now put your own cows in one particular place. That is their own job, to come and rustle. They will. They will just come there, pack what they want to pack. In fact, it's even going to be easy for them.
But by the way, rustling, if the viewer must hear this, rustling is common in the West too. I hear in Australia it's a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all over the world. So like the Katsina State governor has done, maybe the Zamfara should take a cue from there. Declare.
They've done it in Kano too.
Declare like an amnesty, a 1-month amnesty for these rustlers. Then from there, you can now seek the governor, the federal government's support to make sure
Asukwa, and very soon rustlers will have no jobs.
Definitely. See, if we want, there can never be development if there's no peace. That is what we should know. So if the people of Zamfara or the governor wants to enjoy his term, although this is the final, it's coming to an end by May next year. So if he wants his people to hail him, I think he should take that option first. Let people feel his impact and make sure that their own livelihoods are not being taken away by people, by bandits.
There's a danger here. Go by what Jide said. In Katsina, in Kano, and Kaduna, they've been effectively tamed.
Yes.
Now you tame them in Zamfara.
I'm not sure they've effectively tamed them in Kaduna.
Okay.
They are still active.
Yes.
Okay. Chase them out of Kaduna and Zamfara. Where do they go next?
If they keep moving.
Don't you have that fear?
The thing is, if they keep moving, there will always be a solution. There's always a solution to every problem. So it depends on how you will tackle it.
I agree, especially if the problems are man-made.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so as it comes, you take it. As it comes, and these people, they are not just people that we don't know.
They are big people.
They are not just.
They are big in terms of
big
the money.
The money. Because immediately they rustle, they leave. They don't stay there. They rustle, they leave. So it means if we want to tackle it, we must grant them the amnesty, so that anybody that comes to
and they're also into kidnapping, the same people.
Definitely.
Wow.
So the business is not a small business at all. It's a serious business.
Did they take it home now?
I am tired of hearing people being killed in this manner by cattle rustlers. I remember in 2014, I got our reporter, Samna Sambo, to do a story about cattle rustling. And he visited Zamfara and Katsina. It was in response to the killing of 120 people in a market. It was a market day, and they came on a revenge mission. Because when you try to stop them, or you set up a vigilante group that confronts them, these cattle rustlers in Zamfara will come back. And when they come back, they will just come to waste people.
Yeah.
So after the killing of 120 people in one day in a market, I told myself, look, we must go and investigate.
Yeah.
And they told him their story. The people in some of those villages in Katsina at that time, once it's 6 p.m., they are running the way to hide in the state capital. They are traveling to go and hide. No peace, no rest of mind, because when these guys come, they show no mercy. So the state government, the Zamfara state government, must find a way, assisted by the government. I've had the president issue threats, said he has declared total war on Zamfara bandits, but they are still killing people. Almost every day they are killing people.
Exactly.
So it has to stop.
And the viewer must share this thing with me. This is peace time in Nigeria, and people are they keep getting killed, and you're wondering why. Every man-made problem has a man-made solution, and I know the solution. If we seek the solution, will be here. Now, still to come, Melaye, Senator Dino Melaye threatens to sue IGP over disappearance of suspects. This is interesting. Please, let's go on this break and come back. Every road will lead to Kogi State, where the narrative is gradually turning out to be a theater of the absurd. The senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, has threatened to drag the country's police chief, Ibrahim Idris, to court for the reported escape of his accusers from police custody. Dino spells a big rat, Jide.
Yes, if I were in his shoes, I would.
By the way, let me quickly, Ishmael Omikwidon has just joined us.
Thank you.
Ishmael, let me scold you on air. TV, radio, time. We won't take it. Okay then. Yeah, Jide.
Yes, if I were in his shoes, I would have done the same thing. Especially if I was sure I didn't send those boys. This kind of stories, I don't know whether Dino actually gave those two boys AK-47 and pump action that were said to have been found on them. I don't know. I've seen cases of people being accused of giving people money to go and kill people. And then at the end of the day, the suspect will say, no, that information was obtained from me.
I hope you don't tell me here and now that there are people who are not hired assassins.
No,
on hire.
I
understand you.
You know what I'm trying to do? I'm not ruling anything in, and I'm not ruling anything out. I know that Olonwa Akoni, the former leader of the NURTW in Lagos, was recently accused, arrested, paraded before pressmen as having been involved, having hired one Ade lawyer to kill some people. And we thought he actually committed the offense. But a few weeks down the line, Ade lawyer came out to say, no, it's not true. He didn't send me to do anything. He was owing me some money, that's why I lied against him. So these things happen. So I don't know if Dino is guilty of this or not. I'm not ruling that out, but I'm not ruling it in, given my experience. But I'm saying that if I am sure that I didn't send people I didn't arm thugs anywhere, then I will be happy for the case to start so that my innocence can be established. And I think this is what Dino is trying to say by saying, look, I give you an ultimatum. You must produce these guys.
But don't skip the build-up. He was invited,
Yes.
and he declined going there, except for fear of his life.
Yes, and then of course he will want to seek legal advice and all that before deciding.
I think he sent his lawyer to the court.
Yes, before physically appearing. He sent representation to the court. Before physically appearing, he will want to get legal advice and all that.
Ishmael, this is not the first time, perhaps maybe not the last time, we would hear stories of suspects escaping under the watchful eyes of the police from custody.
Yeah, in fact, before the sudden announcement of the disappearance of the suspects, I don't know why the thought came to me, but on the day they were paraded, the first thing that came to my mind was the case of Baba Frayo. The man who was taken into custody,
Bolaige,
to have allegedly, killed Bolaige, only for the man to turn around to say that everything he said was, he was under duress to say so that nothing happened. Because the thing is, if you look at Kogi issue very well, it's a drama that is still unfolding. Now,
well, you could have written a better script for such a drama.
Wait, maybe. Now, is it possible? I think there are questions to be asked. I want to commend the IG for the swift action it took by sacking or by asking the police commissioner to step aside. Maybe it's part of the drama, it's part of the script, only God knows. But the thing is, we have heard of jailbreaks in the past. If it was not a thing that had some kind of a connivance, how come it's only those two suspects that escaped?
Plus six.
Police custody. Now,
there is no prison in Lokoja.
Okay.
There is a prison in Kotonkarfi.
He should know. That's his state.
Of course, I know. No, it's former state. So
is it a crime to know about it?
No.
So the thing is,
about prisons not being in your state.
I think
remember that prison.
I want to.
It was modern.
I want to align myself with the call by Nigerians that police should produce those suspects, because we need to hear from them. Assuming it is true that it's Dino that sent them.
Getting to the bottom of the matter,
yes,
it's important.
It's very important.
At least, Asokwa, the police's image has been rubbed in the mud years and years ago, and so it's time to turn a new leaf. It is said in investigations, when you remove the impossible, whatever is left, however improbable, must be the truth. So you begin to sift the wheat from the chaff. Do you trust Dino Melaye at a time like this? My question is innocent. I'm not putting you on the spot.
No. You have already done that.
I remove you from the spot, but deal with it.
Okay, I don't want to put myself, but from the way Dino is going about it, it's like he's so sure that he doesn't have a hand in this crime. And he has never spoken.
I like your choice of phrases, catchphrases. He's so sure.
He's so sure. That and he has never spoken this vehemently before. Actually, now that it concerns his reputation and his life and everything.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm very sure that is why he's taking it to the courts. Let them decide. Okay, he's even threatening, this man is even threatening my life now.
Yeah.
He has sued for so many things, mental assault and all that.
Do we know if he's in the country?
He's in the country. He didn't go
anywhere. And I just wanted to clear that.
in the country.
in the country. He has denied
that he
the
traveled
claim
out.
that he traveled.
That he traveled. He's in the country,
So it's part of the.
No, it's part of it. So I don't know how the police want to bring themselves out of this matter, because if you look at it from the jailbreaks that I've witnessed, or as not witnessed, that I have been able to sit in the newsroom to read about, to assess, this seems to be the most easiest. No gunshots, if you notice. nobody died. I remember the Imo.
Nobody tells you that every jailbreak must attract a gunshot. Nobody says that.
See, citizen, when once it comes
It's
to
a break.
when once it comes to a big time suspect, it's not always easy. Look at the one in Imo, for instance. Look at what happened. Look at the number of people that were killed. You know, and this one, they just came. 6 of them left. Of about 6 of them, they just left the prison just like that. Until today, we've not heard that even the CP that left, that they said, okay, he has been removed, we have not heard that a panel has been set up to try him.
Yeah.
You know, so there are so many.
Which is what should happen.
You know, there are so many loopholes being left by the police that you begin to wonder, is this man really saying the truth?
And I also wonder, Jide, would we ever now or in the immediate future get to trust our police?
Oh, it's tough.
Is it possible?
It's tough when things like this happen. Many things must happen before we can wholeheartedly trust the police, like it's the case in other lands. The police have to show respect to the civil populace. I was watching a video on Facebook this morning, which one irresponsible policeman here in Lagos slapped a woman and destroyed her phone because he was beating people up, and nobody can even say why. Maybe he was drunk or something. It's not impossible. You know, in public, beat up Fumi Adewala, and I'm like, look, you have a CP who is leading from the front here in Lagos. He's everywhere you see him, he's very active. And then some bad eggs in the police here in Lagos will be left alone to be misbehaving.
Jide, some hens laid the bad eggs.
Yes. So the thing is, the hens, those hens are still the hens that lay the bad eggs, if they are still in the force, along with the eggs that they lay, they should be shown the exit door. That is the thing. When policemen begin to behave decently in public that we can see them, you go to the police, you provide information, and your life remains safe. Not that the person that you provide information about will now come and take care of you. Then at that point, people will begin to trust the police. They will volunteer to give information to the police. Certain things must happen before we get to that point.
Ishmael, we cannot sit here at this table, as critical as the table seems to be sometimes, and say in all honesty that we had not in the past had good policemen.
Well, it is true that we have had, even up to now, we have a few of them that are good. I mean, Edgar, you know, when he was DC, I think DC Ops or so, you know, at the time when Bado was, you know, disturbing all of us here in Lagos. You know, I think the CP went on leave. I can't remember what happened. And before he came back, the guy was able to take care of the situation. You know, the guy was able to take care of the situation. Only for the former CP to return then, and the thing started happening. So, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, we do have good policemen, even
but
now,
they are
not
overshadowed.
They are overshadowed by the bad
very
eggs.
Few bad eggs.
Look, I still repeat.
Which have become badder.
Yes, I still repeat. The first day they paraded those suspects. Honestly, I don't know why. I didn't believe.
Parading suspects is something we'll take on another day. You know, gentlemen, I hear we must be over and done with this. I heard we talk about seeing the future. It is not given to everybody. I may have a gift of seeing tomorrow today. I don't know about you, but in this country, it sometimes can be a dangerous business, seeing the future and foretelling the future now. Okay, we'll take you to Taraba State very, very shortly.
It's quite unfortunate that people should have that idea that my late Oga, my late boss, who is a very good leader, who is a very humble leader, who respects his own leaders too, not only religious leaders, but political leaders, for them to have that mind, or for them to be campaigning against his name, that he is not wishing the head of state well, or is wishing him dead, it's not correct.
Papa has on several occasions, even on gatherings, any Christian gathering or anywhere he finds himself, in churches where he preaches, he's always prayed for his leaders. He has always asked us, he has always prayed in the church for leaders and always prayed for Buhari. It's not Papa that said that. It's not Reverend Dr. Ben Ube that said or predicted the death of Buhari. I caught that one. I assure you it's not the one. And we wonder where that one is coming from. That mischief that is coming, whether it's coming from whoever, I know God of Papa will fight it.
To the best of my knowledge, my father, Reverend Dr. Ben Ube, is a lover of all. He loves everyone. We have been praying for even the President Muhammadu Buhari. We have been praying for him. I know severally on the mountain where we go to pray, he has led many pastors, asked many pastors to lead prayers for the president. He has asked us to pray for the president even in the church. So there's never a time where Papa predicted anybody's death.
That was from Taraba State. But prescience or future vision is a rare gift, as I said a while back. In our country, future vision, or if you like, second sight, has become a dangerous vocation. For Reverend Ben Ube, Taraba State chapter chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, a so-called foretelling of President Buhari's death before 2019 has raised so much dust. The man of God was criminally crushed to death by a truck on Sunday. There's no armor against fate, Jide. There's no armor against fate, according to Shakespeare.
Yes.
So foretelling the future, it's, nobody wants to raise passion or emotion here. It's just as sad and bad that the gentleman had to go that way. I was going to ask, how dangerous is that road, Yola Road?
Very bad. It's in a very bad state, but dangerous, not really dangerous.
In this case, driving.
The volume of traffic on it is not that high. Other people would rather take another route. So
because if the convoy, the car they were traveling on, pulled over, they wanted to buy something. I hear somebody took ill, and they needed, and a truck came from somewhere, from nowhere. It couldn't have been from nowhere.
It could happen. It could just have been a case of reckless driving. It could happen. It could happen. Every time we go
I have a
out,
reason for asking how busy the road is. If the road is not an autobahn, so you expect...
I've traveled on that road before, and I can tell you that it's not as if that road is extraordinarily busy. It just, its end had come, and it just had to happen. So well, I think the important thing is to look at the allegation. Nigerians, there are evil Nigerians on social media. And it's a massive shame that even educated people just believe
anything,
any asinine stuff that people post on Facebook. They just believe it and begin to write rubbish. This is the pastor who said Buhari will die. Buhari has many friends. Now he has many supporters. As you can see, now you that you said he would die, you are gone. And the pastor who said that Buhari would die is based in South Africa. And Nigerian educated people.
A Nigerian pastor based in
South Africa.
Yes, exactly.
And then you accuse this man of being the one, and then you showed pictures of his mangled body, and then began to write rubbish that is because
people relish such things. For me,
it's
so unsightly.
Look, there is one of the journalists working with an independent TV station in Yola, in Taraba, was going to send me a picture of this Ben Uben. After he gathered other church leaders and they were praying for Buhari, because they invited him, he has it. So now, for that, a person went to that length, because people must know that it's not Muslims alone who love Buhari.
Oh, yeah.
When they come up with this, their funny, divisive rhetorics, it's not Muslims alone who love Buhari. There are some very strong Christian leaders who can even die for Buhari. And this man gathered some Christians to pray for the president. And all some evil people can do is to go and bring his mangled body.
That's the injunction of the Holy Book.
Yes.
Pray for your leaders.
Pray for your leaders. And he did it. He did it. And then all people can do is to go and be claiming that he said Buhari will die, and you brought a video. The video you brought is of a different person who is resident in South Africa. If you look at his own picture and you look at the picture of the one who said he would die, they don't match. But we don't ask questions. We don't educate people. You just pick stuff, bam, you slam it on Facebook, and you'll be writing rubbish.
It's
unfair.
Very key. Sometimes we must put the mirror on ourselves, the media, the writing media, and the electronic media. Nigerians tend to go the way of the social media in authenticating stories. It's a tall job for the journalist, especially at a critical time like this.
It is really, and what I tell Nigerians, those who are close to me, each time they give me information, I ask them, where did you get it from? Once they say social media, I say, wait, let's verify. And why? Two things had happened in my presence. During the protest against fuel subsidy, the current senator of Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, had invited some Kaduna residents to converge somewhere around the Murtala Square for the protest. Now, 2 hours after the time he gave, I think only about 7 persons had assembled there. So, and as I was driving away from Lugard roundabout, I saw the thing pop up on my Facebook. Incidentally, the man who posted that thing is working presently with the Kaduna State government. He said thousands gather to my. I called him immediately. I said, where are the thousands? Where are you? He said, I said, you see, that somebody told me. I said, you see, and you have posted it on the Facebook.
Without verifying.
I said, I just left this place not up to 5 minutes. In fact, the people who had gathered were not up to 20. You understand me? So I think Nigerians must find a way of, not be in a hurry to share information we get on social media. Because the man they are even talking about, may so rest in peace, he was elected CAN chairman in 2016. After elections had been held. And there was no way he could have even held such a position, because it was before the election that tensions were rising. So whoever would have been saying such a thing would have started saying it from 2014 and up till the election, as a build-up, and up to the election period. But this man came in as CAN chairman in 2016. But you see, we don't bother to check.
And the picture, please tell them, maybe I don't know much English now. Tell them, most of the things Nigerians take to the social media are so unsightly, and that...
So if you saw that picture, if you saw that picture, you tell yourself that only an irresponsible person will post it. You know? And we were gloating over it. No, you said Buhari would die. To do that to an innocent man who didn't do it. Oh my God.
What I've noticed is that so many Nigerians, I don't know why, they have this deep hatred for the president. I don't know why. And because of that...
If you knew, you would have told us.
No, of course.
Okay.
No, because
go find out.
Because it's serious. And that's why they can post, anybody with his right senses can post a dead man's picture and use a dead man's picture and say, this is the person that actually said this.
In fact, without taking anything from you, the Dapchi situation, they gave you composite pictures of girls released
and girls who had bags.
The bags.
Those ones were not even the girls.
Elderly women.
Look, Citizen Joe, do you know that up to today, up to today, there are some Nigerians, educated ones,
Who don't believe.
who believe that the man we see today as our president is not Buhari.
It's not Buhari.
That is too fit.
I'm telling you.
That is too fit.
It's too fit.
and-
They never imagine that is too fit to be the same Buhari.
They tell you that the
They
man
said
we
it
see
was
today
there is a different
there is
person.
no
That the
Buhari.
real Buhari is dead.
And they believe
They
it.
cannot believe that the man can come back after a long time sick and be this strong.
And be
Today
moving
you
up
call
and down.
Leoya, come and go to Taraba. Oh,
will
people
go.
want to see you.
will
He's
go.
ready. Oh, come and see. Asiwaju has a bad day tomorrow. He's ready.
He's ready.
And they are
So
going for
they're not
AU
No,
meeting.
they are not.
He's
They are
ready. So they can't live with that reality that a man that we felt was on the throes of death has suddenly become more energetic than at any time
More so,
in his
a man
presidency.
who admitted openly, I had never been
Been
this
this sick,
sick
yes.
before.
Then he has suddenly become stronger than he was even before he took ill. Because that's the way it sounds. So they can't live with it, so they find it difficult to believe. I think hate is at the root of all of these things.
It's called
Exactly.
Buhari phobia.
Even the people who will lie against other people, maybe
Yeah.
because they are they are this and that. Hate is at the root of all of that. But people must not let their common sense take a flight.
Exactly.
People must do the right thing.
Yeah, James Asukwa, in taking it home, I want you to look at it's a two-way street. They say when you talk to the hawk that steals chicken, you talk to the mother hen. In closing, don't you have a word for the clergy, the religious men? You see something bad, isn't it right to go quietly and tell Mr. President, I've seen death? Why make it a media thing? I don't know if you understand me.
The person that actually made it is in South
No.
Africa.
I'm
has
saying,
no plan to see it.
So we won't see the
generally.
president.
I'm saying generally, men of God want to be in the limelight.
And so what I would always advise is that the primary mission of every Christian
Or
is
Muslim.
or Muslim. No, let's even talk.
Oh, that's your
Yes.
constituency.
Is to win souls for Christ and let them face that.
And leave politics.
Let them leave
for
politics for
politicians.
those who want to play politics.
Let them leave their presences for
Because
political
they are
leaders.
the ones that are causing, there are two things that is causing problem in this one: ethnicity and religion.
Yeah.
I agree with
And
you.
once we have problem with these two, there won't be development. So our pastors should help us. They should please help us.
All right, we
preach peace.
But I know one thing for sure, gentlemen. There's a big difference between the great men of God and the great God of men. So we are knowing that.
Oh, a lot of these guys are God of men. God with his small
Yeah. Jide, thank you. It's Easter. Enjoy your holiday.
Yes, you should tell me what you are going to do about that. His sister, yes, I know. What
Yeah.
are you going to do about that?
No,
That's what you
today,
should
not
tell me.
today. The man,
It starts.
the cross is here.
The jollification
Listen.
starts today.
No, on Sunday.
not
After he
today.
would have risen.
Okay.
So I don't defeat you here.
Don't wait.
Ishmael,
I must see you on that Sunday.
Ishmael, many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Asufo James, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jide, thank you. Have a lovely Easter. That's it on the program for today and the week. Watch a repeat broadcast of this at 11 this evening. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel remains the same, Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Enjoy your Easter.